All right, today on Brewbuilds, we're building some stone column driveway lights. Let's get after it. Alright, so the first step in this project is going to be laying these lights out. So I want to ensure that these lights are in line with each other and square to my driveway. So I'll be doing a little Pythagorean theorem using some stakes and some string line, but don't worry, it's super easy. And if you want to see how I do this, and if you got any projects that require you pulling a perpendicular line or a straight line in your landscaping, I've got another video queued up showing you exactly how to do this without any sort of math. Just click the link in the top right. Now that I've got the light placement decided, it's time to dig out the holes for the 10-inch by 2-foot sonotubes. So as I was digging these holes out, I intercepted the conduit that I ran for the power supply for these lights, but I'll cut it down using just some nylon string. Is I've got this trench here, which is where the power feed from the house is coming down, the PVC up through the center of the sonotube. So what I have to do is dig this trench out deeper and bend about an 8-inch offset into my PVC, which I'll show you. Just going to use a torch and something close in size where I can bend an offset down. And then in the last portion is I'll have to 90 this over. Alright, so it's too windy outside for me to finish this bend out there. It's just blowing my torch. So came into the shop and I'm just gonna finish heating this up and bending it to do my 8-inch offset. So it's got like a little bit of a jig set up, some boards here, some boards here. Continue heating the pipe up and then it should kind of match this form here. Alright, so I got the first sonotube set. Let's take a peek. Got a cap on there. First sonotube set, conduit ran in, 90 for the electrical for the light. I made this form, which will be for the concrete slab I'm going to pour around the sonotube. What I'll do is I'll measure off my driveway and make sure it's square to the driveway, and then when I go to do the other side, I'll square it up off of this one so that they're both uniform and they're going to be relatively close to in line with my driveway. The sonotube is, I don't know, 3 or so inches above the grade right now. So once I find out exactly where this form for my concrete's going to sit, I want to be centered over the sonotube. I've got some small gravel that I'll put down as a base to help me level it. All right, so now I got this form for my slab all squared up. Well, I squared it to my driveway, which my driveway kind of comes down at an angle where it meets the street. So it's kind of off from the street, but it's lined up with my driveway. It's all leveled. What I'm gonna do is probably backfill around this form a little bit with some dirt just to hold it in place. All right, so it's concrete pouring day. I'm just gonna do one light at a time, at least for these slabs and the sonotube. Once I get this one poured, I'll finish doing the second one. But for now, I'm just doing the one. So I've got 5 bags of concrete. The tub, I'll be mixing the concrete up at the location since I don't have a hose nearby. So I've got 5 bags, but I calculated it out that I should need 4 total, 2 for the sonotube and then another 2 for the slab itself. Along with that, I'm going to be putting in a wire mesh kind of mid-depth of the slab. And then I've got some rebar kind of bent up that I'll be sticking down into the sonotube, and then also about midway in the slab that will, I don't know if I'm gonna tie them together and just kind of let them float there, but hopefully between the mesh and some rebar, it'll add some extra strength and prevent any cracking down the road. All right, so today I'm going to be constructing my light pillars. So I've got my 5 pilaster blocks and my slabs ready, and then what I'll be doing is I'll be starting off by using this template that I cut, which is the exact same footprint of the blocks. And then I've got a hole drilled in the center to accommodate where my conduit comes through. And what I'll do is I'll set this on the slab, trace it out, and that way I know when I put my first layer of mortar on, I know where to put it, and that I don't have as much finessing to do to get the blocks squared to the slabs. Then I'll be mixing up my mortar, which from what I've researched, you want it to be about the consistency of mashed potatoes. And so I'll be applying the mortar, first block, leveling that out, applying more mortar to that block, and then stack all 5 up until I get the 5th one on, and it should be roughly about 40 inches tall. All right, so this is about the consistency that you want it. Get a little on your trowel, hold it on its side, and if it sticks, you can flick it off, then you're good. Let's go set some bricks. All right, so now that all the pilaster blocks are mortared and cured, I can start putting my decorative stone around the outside. So I'm gonna be starting with my corner pieces, which are these guys here. I've got 2 sizes, a large one, and then I don't know, maybe a medium-sized one. So I'll put these around the corners, get them mortared in, and then I'll come back and fill the in-between spots with the flat stones that I have. So a big thing with these is just like anything, you're like when you're doing flooring or whatever, siding, you wanna stagger your seams. So if I start with the first stone like this, I don't want to come back and do another stone like that. You know, ideally, I will come back and do another one like that, or I will mix in, you know, a smaller one like that, or even like that. So just to kind of stagger up so it kind of looks imperfect or not all lined up. Here's a pro tip. This is how you destroy a half box of veneer stones. before I put the inside pieces on, I'm just going to go through and clean out any of the squeeze out, just make it easier for the next step. All right, so last night I left off with this row here. This final row of stone is actually slightly taller than the pilaster block itself, so I have to shave some of this down to where they're just slightly below the lip here. So I got my tile saw set up, and I've got an angle grinder with a diamond blade on it, and I'll be trimming up these last 4 corner pieces, and then I'll be moving on to doing the inside pieces. Let's get after it. All right, so I got all the cornerstones mortared on to both the light columns. So now it's on to just putting on the center pieces. So it's gonna be a little bit of a montage of mixing some mortar up, going over the tile saw, cutting the proper sizes, and gluing those center pieces on. That's all there is to it.
Stick it.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some junk in there.
Tap. It's kind of a tight fit. All right, it's gonna get loud again.
Okay.
Hold it here for a couple seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, so here's the last stone, and that'll complete all of the exterior wrap. Last thing will be putting that cap on. The last step in this project is going to be pulling 3 runs of 135 feet of this number 12 wire to power up these lights. Alright, so there we have it. These driveway lights are finally complete. It only took me about 2 months. So I spent a couple hours on the weekends and then a couple hours here and there after work during the weekdays. So this is a very DIY friendly project. I've never done this elaborate concrete, mortar work, or even this stone work, but again, very achievable for the typical DIY person. So I got these flame bulbs off Amazon, and then I put a 11-pin switch, which is Wi-Fi, so I can control it from my house or anywhere that I have cell service. And then you can also set them up for an automatic dusk to dawn feature, which is what I did. I'll link both those products in my description below. So yeah, if you're looking at doing something very similar, it's very achievable. I think the most complicated tool that I used was a tile saw, which I borrowed from a family friend, and it's very easy to use. The rest of the tools I had laying around. So it was a very easy project for someone that has never done this before. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.